A grand channel. My name is Sudha London. My licensed cognitive behavior therapist and a licensed mental health counselor. Please like, share, and subscribe if you enjoy the contents in this channel. This is all my thoughts, my speculations, and my opinions. This is all my thoughts, my speculations, and my opinions, like Baby Huda said. I'd like to thank Bianca Jane for Baby Huda. Bianca Jane is a very creative person. I'll put up her link for a YouTube channel. She's one of our first subscribers. And a big shout out to Outcast. He has some great audio, lovely discussions in his channel. Just a lovely soul. And I would like to give a shout out to Denise, Realize Analyze, who's really good with this case. A great fan. I owe a lot of credit. She's always on point with the research in this case. But the most special shout out goes to my beautiful, lovely, respectful, decent, intelligent, mindful subscribers. My family subscribers that I really appreciate. I love my subscribers because they have so much patience with me, with each other, with this case. And I'm so thankful and appreciative to them. I love my subscribers' feedbacks. They always tell me the truth. And I have nothing against being corrected because it's important at times. We're not right all the time. We don't have the facts of this case. That's why there's so much speculations. I've tried to follow the PC, the affidavit, and every report that comes out. Just because I'm not talking about every report doesn't mean I haven't read them. But I put that aside because I'm still going with my previous timeline that the police said, 3 to 4. I don't understand where the 4 a.m. timeline comes. And everyone's entitled to their opinions and speculations, but I personally don't believe that all the 4 unalivings happened in the house. I've always said from the beginning that Ethan and Zana were unalived first. People thought it was too far-fetched, but it's nice to see now that most of the YouTube subscribers have come to that understanding, that it was 2 separate incidents. I've always said Sigma Chi fraternity boys, in my opinion only, were involved with Maddie and Kaylee. It's unaliving. Possibly Ethan and Zana too. There was a lot going on that night. At Banfield, the grub truck, and the corner club. Today I'd like to focus on Maddie and Kaylee. Especially Kaylee. May they rest in peace. Condolence to the families. I found it interesting that Beckney Funk said that Maddie knocked at her door and asked her if she saw Murphy. BF said that she went out for 10 seconds with Murphy and Maddie outside the backyard. BF said that she came back, so that means she left Murphy and she left Maddie to search for Murphy by herself. My focus is on there because I always had the feeling that this had something to do with Murphy the dog.
I believe that Murphy was Lord. Maybe towards Taylor Avenue. Right from the beginning of this case, I've been very interested in Taylor Avenue more than anything else, where the Banfield boys were. Because I personally believe that there was a lot happening in that area. There were actually people hiding inside the little blue car. And I don't think that was normal at all. The undercover police were standing right there. How come they didn't see the figures, the people inside the little car, is my question. Did Maddie go outside to search for Murphy, and did somebody lure Murphy away? My second question is, I'm not a dog person, but I'm sure many of my subscribers have dogs. So y'all would know the behavior pattern of dogs better than me. I'm a cat person, and cats are totally different. They're independent. They don't need somebody to take them outside to potty. They have the cat litter. The reason that I'm mentioning all this is because I'm interested in Murphy. Murphy was a puppy that time. He wasn't a big dog. This was a party house, so I assume many people who came to this house knew Murphy well. Adam and Jack D know Murphy very well. There's the TikTok picture of them playing with Murphy at Jack D's house. I can imagine how many friends of Jack D come to visit him and Adam and who know Murphy. So I'm sure half of the college students know Murphy. Anyone could have lured Murphy away from the house to distract Maddie and Kaylee, and they could have been lured away from the house, in my opinion. The reason I say that is I found it interesting that DM said in an interview, or she told the police when they came, and when they asked about Murphy, she said, "Oh, was he inside?" She thought that Murphy was outside. Why would she think that Murphy's outside? Between 2:30 to 3 is when Maddie was searching for Murphy. So when did Bethany Funk see the firecracker or the firework thing? When did she see the light under her door, the flash? Was it when Maddie was searching for Murphy? Or was it later?
And then I woke up and I was like half asleep and I thought I saw like a firework. And then I woke up and I was like half asleep and I thought I saw like a firework or something. Like it just sparkled like under my door. And then I thought I heard like something kind of fall. I was like bark, but I thought they were just making like food, like and Ethan was here or something and knocked something over because he's usually loud in the kitchen upstairs. Okay. So what do you mean by you heard a firework? It sounded like a little firework and then there was like a spark. By my, like, I'm on the bottom floor. Okay. So it kind of looked like it came down there, but I don't know.
So Bethany Funk said that she heard somebody in the kitchen. They were either making food, so she heard a loud noise in the kitchen. So when she heard somebody in the kitchen making loud noise or cooking or something, at the same time is when she saw the fire work or the spark. My question is that when the fight started in the kitchen? Because the kitchen looked like a crime scene itself. Not from the pictures we are seeing now, but from the pictures in the beginning. So could it be possible that Ethan and Zana were chilling in the living room and were in the kitchen when somebody came and attacked them with a gun? Something was happening between 2:30 to 3 a.m. That's when Maddie was searching for Murphy. Where was Kaylee? Like I said, I'm not a dog person, but I know that dogs are usually with their owners. So where was Kaylee? Kaylee would have been concerned to let Maddie go alone and search for Murphy because Maddie wasn't in a good shape. Let's be honest. The poor girl couldn't stand barely on her feet. So something isn't right here. Did he hear a gun? BF? What is the escapatory evidence? Did the officer ever ask you about your Venmos? Did the officer ask you about your Visco account? I didn't hear the officer asking you that. Where were your pictures that you took that night? You were at the Sigma Key fraternity party, so you should have some pictures of Ethan and Zana easily. What is it you're hiding? Allegedly, in my opinion. So the fight must have broke out in the kitchen.
Years crack the case.
Oh, this person failed so bad.
A plea from parents desperate for answers to their daughter and the other victims' murders. The Gonzalez family fears video evidence could be disappearing.
It's the community that can help. So we really feel like that's a very technology-savvy generation in that town, all those college students. So that's an asset, and to not take advantage of that asset seems pretty naive.
The Gonzalez family says they want to do anything they can to help the investigation, but believe investigators could be missing the mark.
Imagine if you're a parent and you have pertinent information to this, like that dog, and you're asking me to just shut up. It's not going to happen. I'm going to find a microphone and I'm going to talk to it and I'm going to tell people this is important, what is or not. How can you eat that? How could you suppress that? Something you know could help your child and help everyone in that house find justice. Force them to ask you the question.
Christy Gonzalez speaks about what she believes happened in the early morning hours of November 13th.
And went in very methodical. I think he really thought it out. I think he was quick. I think it was quiet. And he got in and he got out.
How could you suppress that? Something you know could help your child and help everyone in that house find justice. But you can't force them to ask you the question.
Christy Gonzalez speaks about
Steve said, how could you eat that? How could you suppress that? Knowing that a certain information is important to get justice for all the victims and their families. And he mentioned the dog. What were the police asking Mr. G to suppress? I'm sure Steve and Chrissy had a lot of information because they were going around asking everyone in the college. They even tried speaking to one of the surviving roommates, and they were reported for that. Steve even got a FBI warning not to try contacting roommates and the students in the college about this case. What were the police asking him to suppress?
Luckily, I've saved so much pictures in this case that I had to go and buy extra memory for it. There's a reason I save all these pictures, because everything is getting deleted offline. Now pay attention to the kitchen, please. This picture was on the news media the first few days of the unalivings. Doesn't that look like red liquid on the dough? And where were all these plates and bowls that were in the kitchen? We didn't see this. Look at the mess. What is actually going on? So it makes sense that Bethany Funk heard something or someone crashing into their table in the kitchen. Could it be a fight that broke out? A self-defense fight that broke out? Let's not forget, both the doors were not secure in this house. And the dog, Murphy, was lost, according to Bethany Funk. So when did Murphy find the dog? Was the dog hidden by one of the frat members, or possibly by Jack D himself? That's the owner. Both Kaylee and Jack D had custody of the dog. So it would be easy for the dog to be lured by Jack D, and Murphy would be out searching for the dog. What if Maddie and Murphy were found at Linda Lane or at Taylor Avenue? Because let's not forget, Maddie was searching for Murphy. Did Kaylee run after Maddie? What happened? Because I believe something happened in Taylor Avenue. I don't think that is oil. That looks like red liquid for me. And I really believe that the fight broke out in the kitchen and it led to the living room. And the bedrooms. There is plenty of red liquid in the kitchen, allegedly. Ethan Chapin, his sister-in-law, agrees with half of the world that DM and BF should have called 911. It should have been a federal crime, in my opinion. Let's not forget, Hannah Clear was found after 3 days. But let's move on, because nothing happens in Idaho, Moscow, like they said. This is the part I feel is difficult for me to believe. Look at how close DM's room is to the steps. Really close. She said she heard Kaylee running up the steps and saying somebody's here, and then Kaylee ran downstairs again. She said she heard crying in the toilet. Zana's toilet and Maddie and Kaylee's toilet look very clean. So if somebody was crying in the toilet and God forbid they got poked, there would have been a lot of red liquid. Something doesn't make sense. Imagine somebody committed a quadruple, a brutal quadruple, and sees one of the roommates alive, face to face, and he lets her go. Why would you let them go? Said that they could write a book about you? Or that they could testify against you in court? That doesn't make sense. I personally do not think that Brian Koberger is fit to do this crime by himself. I would love to see Koberger climbing up a fleet of steps, because I believe he has a heavy walk. he would be wobbling. I don't think this is Koberger. And the fact that 3 unidentified male DNAs were found explains it all. They only told us about the mixed DNAs, unidentified male DNAs found under Maddie's nails. What about Zana? She did the most self-defense. What about Kaylee? Kaylee would have had fingerprints of somebody else on her, and I don't believe one person unalived Kaylee. Was somebody hiding inside the house, is my question. Could somebody have come from Kaylee's balcony and hid inside the room? Just a question, guys. When I was young, my mom used to always call me a question mark. Everything was a question. And I believe if you don't ask and if you don't think out of the box, we would never find out what happened that night. Koberger stood here and saw DM. He stared into her eyes because she said he had bushy eyebrows. Guys, I'm quite aware that I've shown you all this picture plenty of times. I just need to know what Jack Showalter has in his jacket. Could it be a GUN? Since that was mentioned plenty of times. And Jack D had bullet drops found in his house and red liquid. Could this be a GUN? Could any of my subscribers who have rivals and GUNs, could you all explain to me what I'm seeing? For the last 3 years, I've been just paying attention to what Showalter has in his pocket. And now that we're hearing about GUNs possibly being used, I wonder if he was carrying one. Why did Bethany Funk and DM not believe him? They both thought that he was capable of doing it, especially DM, although she went to the same high school with him. BF said that he's very aggressive, he has anger management behavior, according to her best friend's boyfriend who knows Showalter well. Look at his eye. Was this a revenge unaliving? I believe it was revenge, crime of passion, rugs. Many different things were involved. It wasn't one motive and it wasn't one target, in my opinion. There we have Bethany Funk with black hair and Showalter. They're sitting at a bonfire and Funk is sitting on Showalter's lap. Nothing wrong with that, but there's something clearly wrong when Bethany Funk says she doesn't know Showalter. Why would you be sitting on a man's lap if there isn't anything between you? My point being, these people are lying through their tight